Communist China must be increasingly desperate, whining about President Trump's insistence that the Chinese trade in a fair and balanced manner and actually quit stealing things, American stuff, $600 billion of it a year. The Chinese ambassador to the United States telling Reuters, quote, "In the last century, we had 2 world wars, and in between them, the Great Depression. I don't think anybody should really try to have a repetition of history." Now, that's pretty cute and desperate whining from a country hiding behind the World Trade Organization and their special market status as a developing nation, an emerging nation, giving them preferential treatment as they steal billions, hundreds of billions of dollars a year in American intellectual property. The prospect is that there will be a high-stakes meeting between President Xi Jinping and President Trump, and the G20 meeting in Argentina ought to be interesting. To take that up now, that meeting between Xi and Trump, as well as the ongoing trade, as the president calls it, dispute, not trade war. Dr. Michael Pillsbury, director of the Center for Chinese Strategy at the Hudson Institute, author of the New York Times bestseller, The 100-Year Marathon, China's Strategy to Replace America as the Global Superpower. It is great to see you, Michael, and I want to say, first and foremost, it's really embarrassing to hear the Chinese whine like this and utter such gibberish in an official form from their ambassador. The president's tariffs are working, aren't they?
Yes, there is a sense of desperation, I think. They do scare people. When the Chinese ambassador raises these things, you and I know it's not true. But
who the heck is scared? Who would be scared? It's sure as heck not President Trump. It's sure not John Bolton.
No. President Trump, as I think you know, he's been on to this since the year 2000. He published a pioneering book using some really harsh language about technology theft, just a whole series of criticisms of China.
Who is afraid?
Well, I'm sorry to tell you that the Goldman Sachs crowd is pretty upset.
No, don't tell me that.
And the Wall Street Journal today has a major expose. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I didn't think the Goldman Sachs operation extended as deep into the White House.
You got to be kidding.
As apparently it does, according to the Wall Street Journal. Right. Hank Paulson's he was the former boss of Steve Mnuchin. Mm-hmm. And today there's this number, I think it's 50 times. Hank Paulson comes down or calls Steve Mnuchin. So we're beginning to get this idea.
Say, you're a China hand.
Yeah,
I'm a political hand.
The Chinese like this,
it's really straightforward. Look who was conciliatory with the Chinese in the trade talks leading up to what was the president's decision. If they're going to ignore him, Mnuchin wasn't exactly direct and clear. He was a little ambiguous in his discussions with the Chinese. And the result was they didn't do a damn thing because they didn't think the president was serious. Right. That's Goldman Sachs style.
I tell the story in the 100-Year Marathon of 1993 when Bill Clinton started out really against China. Yeah. And Nancy Pelosi was with him. Half the Congress, both houses, really stern legislation against China. But the Chinese split the cabinet, and they brought the Treasury Secretary, Robert Rubin, several other people. They brought them over to China's side.
Sorry, did you say
Clinton
Goldman Sachs again? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you say.
In that case, it was Citicorp.
Well, it was Citicorp afterwards. He was also the co-CEO of Goldman Sachs. You don't want to miss a Goldman Sachs opportunity like that, Professor.
I think the Chinese
Let's turn very quickly to where we are.
Splits in the cabinet.
Yep. Let's turn very quickly to where we are, and that is a country.
On Saturday night, Saturday night.
I appreciate the compelling, dramatic language, but we got a decision to make. Are we going to be an independent, free nation, or are we going to be part of a supply chain in a global economy run from the United Nations?
A lot depends on the power of President Trump. I'm betting on him. I think he saw this problem initially 18 years ago. I think he's quite determined. But a president can't run every little thing. And so he's got to trust the cabinet and the people in the government to make things happen.
I think he's got to not trust them. I think that's the real issue, not trust them.
I'm worried. I think the Chinese are pretty smart. They've already been telegraphing actually today, some of the concessions they're going to make. And Lou, the basic idea is to say, well, China is going to open up on its own for all countries in the world and imply that America is not really a special exception. This is probably not going to work, but I'm looking forward to Saturday night, aren't you, for this dinner and the one-on-one session?
You know what I'm really looking forward to is when the Chinese, when the Chinese finally realize, is they may have already, you know, they're at the penumbra of a dawning, I believe, an awareness that this president is not going to be played, and that they're going to have to actually quit stealing our stuff as a condition precedent to trading with us. Isn't that going to be a marvelous moment? Let's hope it's near at hand. Michael Pillsbury.
Some Chinese still think he's bluffing. That's the problem. I'm afraid the Goldman Sachs crowd plays up.
That's why in this life...
Don't be afraid of President Trump.
When you call a bluff, you better be damn sure what you're doing. The Chinese obviously don't have a clue.
Exactly right.